Egypt have the best African player in the world at the moment, in Mo Salah. So
What?
he's best African player.
Again?
He's best African player in the world.
Again?
I mean,
you said this thing before Osimhen won it, and you're saying it after he won it. What
that's
was
not what I had to discuss. My
Okay.
opinion is my opinion. I think that's the
Okay.
best African player in the world. We can set up a poll on social media after for that.
All right.
So I think that should play a role. But like you said, Ghana are a very strong side. And
Oh, most definitely.
I wouldn't even. Yeah, it's a toss-up between who comes out of the group.
Yep.
Yeah, because Ghana they have Mame Kudus, who I think is on current form one of the best players on the continent.
I think so
I think
too.
he's going to rip out the Premier League for the next couple of years. Akwaba, Ekunle, Ekushe, everything. Welcome back. It's the Shangalo boys, and as you can tell, things are a little different today. You
Yeah.
can tell by our attire.
Yeah, full on African vibes, cause
sir.
it's AFCON season. I mean, it's right here, it's now, it's we've all been waiting for this moment, and yeah, it's here.
Yes, yeah. Just before we get into our order of the day, running through the groups, something I did notice, I kind of like the way the attire that the players wore today.
Yep,
That's what
yep.
inspired us to do the same.
Exactly.
Today. It was cool, and it was cool to see how the Western world embraced it and appreciated the colours.
Yeah,
of it.
definitely. It made sense that all the African sides, or let me say, all of the African sides actually. Most of the big sides actually. Let me just say.
The Arab sides didn't really participate. Those guys came
Yeah,
to
those
Russia,
ones-
but
So yeah, the rest of us, I mean, Ghana, Nigeria,
Mali,
everybody
Guinea.
came in with, their local attires. And yeah, that's one of the highlights of the competition so far, even though we've not kicked a ball yet. And talking about highlights of the competition, I think that this AFCON is going to serve up a lot of talking points. We're talking about, speaking about talking points, so many interesting things have happened even before we kicked the ball. Remember, there was the broadcast drama.
Yep. That was a big
Multi-choice,
one,
that was very,
U-turn suddenly.
Exactly. Multi-choice just announced that they got rights to it
Like
on
3
the
days
10th.
before the
Just
tournament.
that's never been heard of.
Thank God, yeah.
We thank God
We'll take
because
it, we'll take it.
that's one thing. And just I think yesterday or day before yesterday, we were this close to having to mourn players of one of the African sides, Guinea, where the players, the plane that was going to take the players from Guinea to Ivory Coast, actually the oxygen supply failed, and they were this close. Some players actually fainted on the plane. That's crazy. That is crazy. So that's something.
We haven't kicked the ball yet.
And we haven't kicked the ball yet. We're already having all of this.
Full time before it happens. Yeah, we haven't seen the country tackles. We haven't seen the crazy haircuts. You know what AFCON delivers.
AFCON always delivers talking points, and it has started already. But yeah, let's get into today's.
Yeah, so today we're going to run through the groups in AFCON, and we're going to give you just a couple predictions who we think is going to win the group. And yeah, just a couple predictions, some goal scorer, dark horse, etc. So I'm going to start off with Group A, and then we're going to take it turn by turn until we get to Group F. So Group A, we have the host nation, Equatorial Guinea, the twins Guinea-Bissau, and our country, Nigeria. I think that's a pretty strong group. Having Guinea in there, Equatorial Guinea in there, having the host nation, and you know the advantage that gives host nation tournaments, and Nigeria, who are one of the favorites because they're both coming to the tournament. Looking at this group, I think I'm quite certain that Nigeria and Ivory Coast should leave the group. If I had to pick a winner of the group, unfortunately, you guys shouldn't kill me. I'm going to have to go with the host nation here. I think they have a strong side. They're the host nation.
They are the host nation.
And Ivory Coast always serve up.
It always
like
comes
historically,
to play.
Ivory Coast deliver. When it's in their country, you'd expect them
it
to.
always comes to play in African competitions. Go and watch CAF competitions. Go and watch it. Anytime you're playing at home,
MPL,
you just
in
MPL, you always see that come into play.
Yeah,
so
the home advantage is loud.
if you say Ivory Coast, would win the group, I don't think there's too many who that.
Yeah, but I think Nigeria can come out to that group and then make some waves as the tournament progresses.
Yeah, I think so too. But to say who wins that group A, I'm strongly behind Ivory Coast, like you said. So yeah, we're going to Group B. Group B has Cape Verde, Egypt, Ghana, and Mozambique. Two very big sides, two very big African sides in that one. But of course, we know how the AFCON always pans out. It gives us surprises. You can see Cape Verde or Mozambique, do a madness. But my logical brain is telling me Egypt will come out as victors in that group, and Ghana will come out as the second place side in the group. I'm not really expecting to see surprises in that group, but it is the AFCON. anything can happen, really and truly.
There will be an upset, not the groups. Even if the teams we think are going to come out, there's going to be an upset. Someone's back is going to be against the wall.
Yeah, maybe an unexpected draw.
Yeah, that's going to happen.
Somewhere.
That's going to happen in the first match week. That's going to happen. Like, we know AFCON. That's how AFCON serves up. But yeah, I probably agree with you on that one. Egypt have the best African player in the world at the moment, in Mo Salah. So
What?
He's best African player.
Again?
He's best African player in the world.
Again?
I mean,
you said this thing before Osimhen won it, and you're saying it after he won it. What was
that's not what I had to discuss. My
Okay.
opinion is my opinion. I think that's the
Okay.
best African player in the world. We can set up a poll on social media after for that.
All right.
So I think that should play a role. But like you said, Ghana are a very strong side. And
Most definitely.
I wouldn't even. Yeah, it's a toss-up between who comes out of the group.
Yep.
Yeah, because Ghana they have Mohamed Kudus, who I think is on current form one of the best players on the continent.
I think so too.
He's going to rip off the Premier League for the next couple of years. So yeah, another very strong group. Group C is a strong group as well. There are a lot of strong African sides nowadays. This is going to be a competitive tournament.
Yeah.
Because in this group, we've got Cameroon, Gambia, Guinea, and Senegal. Senegal, the reigning champions. Cameroon, who did very well at the last AFCON. Remember, Abubakar went absolutely
Yeah,
crazy.
Vincent Abubakar with 8 goals.
Yeah, Abubakar with 8 goals. But I think the winners in this group, I'm going to go with the reigning champions in Senegal. They have Sadio Mane, one of the greater players on the continent.
Yep,
They have
yep.
Koulibaly, one of the best defenders in world football over the last few years. He's probably falling off now a bit, but that quality, international football is where you see that quality, and we saw it at the World Cup from him as well. Ismail Assar, pace down the wings, a strong midfield. I think Senegal have a good chance to progress far in the tournament.
Who was the Mendy plays for?
Mendy Senegalese as
Senegal.
well. That's one of the better goalkeepers.
He won the Golden Glove last time
So
out.
you have to look at Senegal.
Most definitely. Moving on from Group C to Group D, where we have Algeria, Angola, Burkina Faso, and Mauritania. This is another one of those groups that serves up interesting fixtures because many of these sides are very closely ranked, with Angola, Burkina Faso, and Mauritania. So that one is going to be harder to call, between those three. But Algeria stands out,
For sure.
amongst, in that group D. So I'm definitely picking Algeria to come out top.
Yeah, I think Algeria also, they stand out in the tournament, to be honest. There's some very good players there. Riyad Mahrez.
I mean, Mahrez, who is currently on form at the moment.
Bufal, who, the Arab boys, they come and they play football. No, it's true. Like, Arab footballers, they have that South American flair to them. Just think of all the players that come from that region, all these Benafa, and a lot of the French players, like Zidane. That's where he originates from. Where's he from? So yeah, it's a style of football that I love seeing. I'm going to be looking out for them in the tournament.
I'd rather say North Africa than
Let's say North Africa. The North African boys are ballers. That's good. All right, Group E, we've got Mali, Namibia, South Africa, Tunisia. Here, this is another group where no one particularly stands out. There are no real superstars in this group, but that can be why to serve up an entertaining round of fixtures. We can see goals. We don't know what's going to happen. So that's why it should be a group that we can look out for entertainment. South Africa usually bring their sort of vibe and their culture on that. But to lead this group, I think I'm going to have to go with Mali. So like I said, even though I said nobody really stands at this tournament, in qualification, Mali actually did pretty well. They scored a lot of goals. They were second top goal scorers in qualification. And
after Nigeria.
Was high. So they do have Yves Bissouma. That's a face that we recognize, a good player. And like you said, international tournaments, it can be that level of quality. That might just mean that they win most of the midfield battles they're up against because they have a player of that ilk and they could leave the group. So yeah, I think they'll definitely leave the group. To follow them, I might go with Tunisia. I think Tunisia were at the World Cup and they put up a decent showing of themselves. So it's a tricky one, like I said. Tunisia, South Africa, whoever comes in second, I will not be surprised.
Less likely, in my opinion, South Africa, because the South African side that actually does well most of the time is the Banyana, right? The female side. Not really the men's side. After the 2010 World Cup, we haven't really had that much of this thing from them. They've played against Nigeria a couple times. They showed themselves. They feel like they always want to take it to Nigeria. They always want to take it to Super Eagles when they play.
All of Africa, everyone hates Nigeria.
But besides that, they don't really come correct. So yeah, I would say maybe Mali, Tunisia, or maybe Tunisia and then Mali. Yeah, moving on from Group E, we have the final group in the tournament, Group F. That has DR Congo, Morocco, Tanzania, and Zambia. And this one, the standout team, Morocco, highest placed team in the FIFA rankings, highest placed African team in FIFA rankings, currently ranked 13th. They're the first side in the history of African football to qualify to the semi-finals, ever. And they still have that setup that they had in that World Cup. Nothing has changed, so you definitely expect for them to kick on from that. So Morocco is a standout team for me, and I also think that, I mean, we've not gotten there yet, but I think that we will see this Morocco team in the final of the tournament. So yeah, Morocco, I predict to win Group F.
Yeah, I've got to agree with you there. Coming in second place, I'm going to have to lean towards Congo.
Yeah, DR Congo always also, I mean, they have one of the healthiest local leagues in Africa, one of the most competitive local leagues in Africa. So yeah, and many of these players, and in fact, something interesting as well is that many of these players, they started out because their league had some sort of resurgence, some sort of progress that we've seen over the past 4 AFCONs and what have you. Now, many of their players are now good enough to play international football, and many of these players have, are now featuring for international sides. Yeah. And so, in the team picture that it took before the tournament, they had all these players come and wear their home, the jersey of the clubs they play for. Some might say, why would you do that? But I think that that's testament to the growth
on the league.
Of
I think
their league and of
it's something to be proud
Congolese
of.
Football,
like that these players are playing at this level,
at that level,
Premier
yes.
League and they will take their pictures with their Congo jerseys. So I think that's something for us to get hype about. And I feel like another thing with Congo is as you said, there's been resurgence recently. And when you get this resurgence, because with international teams, you see people of dual citizenship playing for the European side or whatever. You see Senegalese boys sometimes choosing to play for France. But as the league has developed more, you're seeing some of these players up to play for Congo.
They're coming back to play for
realizing
Congo,
that AFCON is something to play in. And to win a tournament here is a lot better than playing on that 21s for England to 26 or whatever. And people are starting to see that. But yeah, that's our rundown of the groups, who we think is going to win the group, who we think is going to qualify from the group. So let us know in the comment section who you think is going to qualify.
Which of these predictions do you not agree with? Which one of them do you think really stands out for you?
But before we leave AFCON, so let's touch on this earlier. We're going to give our predictions of who's going to win the tournament, who we think is going to be the top goal scorer, and who is our dark horse to win the tournament. Before we wrap it up, the Premier League is back. There's been a lot of cup football going around. There's going to be a lot more cup football, but there's just a little bloods of Premier League football right in the middle.
So yeah, despite all the AFCON features we have to look out for this weekend, of course, do not forget AFCON starts tomorrow, Saturday. Yes, we do have Chelsea Fulham on Saturday as well. Chelsea have had a topsy-turvy season. They're not doing excellently well so far. And then they're playing against the Fulham side that has been quite good in some phases this season. So that's definitely interesting to see to look out for. Newcastle, Man City. This one is a race for the top 4. Whether you consider it so at this point or not, it still is a race for the top 4.
It's a potential title decider. If City drop some points here, it could mean something.
Yeah.
If City win here, it's a gauntlet. If he really beats Newcastle, it's something for everyone to worry about.
Most definitely.
De Bruyne is back.
De Bruyne is back. De Bruyne came back immediately and he scored. They scored like 3 goals in 15 minutes that he was on the pitch. So yeah, Newcastle Man City definitely want to look out for that one. Is happening Newcastle at home on Saturday, and then on Sunday we have Manchester United versus Tottenham Hotspur. That's another big game. Man U Tottenham, Man U at home. I'd expect Manchester United to win. The first time they faced each other this season, it was very tight between both sides. Even though Tottenham, scaled through with the win. But yeah, Man U Tottenham, interesting to see. There's no Sofiane Amrabat, he was called up.
There's no Son Heung-min, he's going to the
Son Heung-min as well.
I mean, and he's I think your keeper is still going to be there.
Bissouma, there's no Bissouma for Tottenham. There's no Onana will actually play before he goes.
And I think that's just crazy.
Yeah, that's so not right. I promise you.
I don't know
that's actually not
right. I played this guy to the ground before when he comes back, and then it's also the message like how bad is the backup keeper?
Like exactly, why can't you trust? You literally bought this guy. You actually just bought this guy so he can back up.
It's
somebody else.
It's interesting management from the manager, but we talk about that all the time.
I mean,
Thanks for having us once again. Like we said, like, share, subscribe, and in the comment section, let us know all your AFCON predictions. And apart from the categories we gave you, let us know what else you'd like to see in the AFCON, what you normally see in the AFCON, and you'd like to see again.
Yeah.
Thank you for working with us, and we'll see you soon.
Peace.